Hello, and thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus for another edition of Catch Up Quick, where we like to catch you up on the latest stories making headlines in and around the metro community and some of the developments that we've been following. I am Maria Moreau here with you on your Friday. Congratulations on closing out another work week as we head into the weekend. If you are a weekend worker, we appreciate all that you do to keep our community going. All right, I want to start with some urgent news that we've been following, and we've been getting details into our newsroom minute by minute. A water main break, a huge one at that, has shut down at least 5 DeKalb County District schools. Right now, crews are hard at work along the 800th block of McLendon Drive. Now, DeKalb County School of the Arts evacuated students to Columbia High School. They are scheduled to return to class at 1:15 today for a 3:10 p.m. Friday dismissal. Students at Avondale Elementary, DeKalb Elementary School of the Arts, McLendon Elementary, and Robert Shaw Elementary are also being relocated at this time. And this is not only impacting schools, by the way, it is also impacting homes and businesses as well. A power pole is teetering at the site, causing some homes to lose electricity. That is according to our media partners at Decatur-ish. Now, earlier, MARTA reported some closures, including at bathrooms at Eastlake, Decatur, Avondale, and Kensington. Those have since been reinstated, so a little bit of progress there for MARTA. Again, we're going to continue to follow on those school closures. I know a lot of you parents had questions for us earlier. There was letters that have been sent out and notices to parents at the affected schools, so do just make sure you are keeping your phone and communication devices on you throughout today so you can keep updated with us on your students' school schedule for today. And classes are back in session at McEachern High School following a scary moment yesterday, a shooting in the parking lot of the high school. And now Cobb County school officials say a person is behind bars in connection to the shooting. Atlanta News First reporter Asia Wilson reports.
Complete shock when your child reaches out and says, "Code red, this is not a drill," in all capital letters.
Parents of McEachern High School students on edge Thursday after a shooting in the parking lot of the school prompted a major law enforcement response.
When we get these calls, we don't know if it's an active shooter or not. And so our officers treat it as it is an active shooter. And we train for this, along with everybody behind me, every single year.
Cobb County police say the shooting happened outside the school around 1:45 p.m. The high school went on lockdown as they secured the campus. We spoke with a student with parental permission who says they sheltered in their classrooms after she learned of gunfire.
And then a video started surfacing, and pretty much I saw the video. It was the same boys that I had seen before I went to lunch.
That video she's referring to
holding each other's straps
appears to show a group of young people in the parking lot. 2 victims had to be taken to the hospital. Neither were current McEachern students. The result, anxious loved ones waiting to pick up their student at the reunification center set up at a nearby church.
It was my brother, man, so of course I had to rush up here as soon as I got the news. It's sad and it was scary, I can't lie.
The go-ahead finally given around 4:30 p.m. when law enforcement determined the high school was safe.
I'm gonna hug them and be happy.
As a scary school day came to a close and students returned home, law enforcement still searching for suspects involved.
And the Cobb County Police did hold a news conference at 9:30 earlier this morning. I did just want to give you some updates that came out of that. The main one, there is still an ongoing search for a second suspected shooter in this investigation. Some other things that we've learned about the victims, the 2 victims that had suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators tell us that they suffered superficial gunshot wounds, one in the arm and another in the leg. The victims were taken to the hospital where they are recovering. Now, there was a lot of question about whether this involved McEachern High School students. We did learn from police that there was originally a physical altercation, as you just saw in some of that video, with McEachern High School students, but at least 2 people involved in this investigation were not students. Now, one of the individuals was originally a witness and at some point allegedly pulled out a gun, according to police. That person has been identified as 17-year-old Scott Four. He has been arrested on charges of aggravated assault and others. Now, we do have the latest information for you on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. We'll continue to follow any and all developments that come out of this and bring that directly to you so you don't miss a thing. Another story that we are following here today is the final deadline for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to respond regarding a hearing on allegations of an inappropriate relationship with a special prosecutor. Now, the deadline comes just days after Michael Roman issued Willis and special prosecutor Nathan Wade subpoenas. Roman is one of more than a dozen co-defendants in Fulton County's 2020 election indictment. He is also the first person who made the claims of this relationship public. The hearing on February 15th will be in front of a judge overseeing the election indictment. And all of this, by the way, happening as the Fulton County DA is expected to appear before the U.S. House Judiciary Committee. Willis has been subpoenaed in regard to her investigation and subsequent indictment of former President Donald Trump. U.S. Representative Jim Jordan taking to social media earlier today to share a letter that he sent to Willis demanding documents from her office following allegations that she had fired a whistleblower who tried to stop a top campaign aide from misusing federal funds. So a lot to unpack there. You can find the full letter on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. And for all my drivers out there, you are going to need to make a plan. This is the last work day before a months-long construction begins in North Atlanta. GDOT plans to close the bridge that connects North Druid Hills Road to Buford Highway for 90 days beginning in March. But nightly closures do begin on Monday. The 90-day closure will be used to make a new bridge that is wider and safer and adds larger sidewalks and ADA-compliant ramps at the crosswalk. Some business owners are worried that the road work will make it difficult for people to find their shops. GDOT did share a detour that it recommends you use. The green is the recommended route, and the agency suggests using Claremont Road to get around the closure that is that is supposed to last for 90 days. We have additional details, including those alternate routes, the main one that is recommended, on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. All right, it's not just Friday, it is also an exciting day here in Georgia and really across the southeast, I should say. Can you guess what Georgia General Beauregard Lee predicted for his weather winter forecast? Now, if you're not familiar with this Groundhog Day tradition, it dates all the way back to the late 19th century, but even has older roots in Celtic culture. Now, while ancient people would watch when animals like bears stopped hibernating to predict weather patterns, Pennsylvania Germans observed the groundhog, leading to the celebration we know and love today. So, if you had a chance to tune in to our earlier coverage, you saw the beloved weather oracle step outside of his white groundhog-sized mansion to reveal no shadow, signifying an early spring. And if you weren't a believer, check this out. Pennsylvania's Punxsutawney Phil also did not present a shadow. So that's 2 groundhogs with no shadow for you. I would say our bets of an early spring are pretty good. Thanks so much for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. Meteorologist Cutter Martin will have another edition of Weather Where You Are for you, where he'll get into some of your winter weather predictions and as well as your weekend forecast, which I know a lot of you are starting to make your plans around. We will take you now back to your regularly scheduled programming.